Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. So for this project we'll be using this basic bodice, and I've gone ahead to trace on a fresh pattern paper. So we'll begin with the bodice front. So next we take in the dart, and first we mark the bust span. For this case is 4¼ . So the dart intake on the waist is 3/4 on each side of the mid dart line. And then take up 2 inches from the hip line and come down 1 inch on the bust line, and then draw the dart line or the dart legs. So next we insert the horizontal measurements. So quarter bust circumference is 10 inches plus ½ inch is, and quarter waist circumference is 8¾ plus 1½ inches for that, and the hip quarter circumference is 10¼ . So our pattern is looking shapeless, but not to worry, by the time we hold the dart the shape will definitely come out. So next thing we do now is to take in the neck width and the neck depth. So originally the neck width was 3 inches, so plus 2 inches making 5 inches, and the neck depth is 6 inches. Now this you can take according to your preference. Next we determine the midpoint on the armhole. So for this project is 10.1, and we'll be coming down by 5 inches and then come down also by 0.5. And on the neck we'll be taking 2.5 inches. Now you can do from 1 to 3 inches, totally depends on you, and then we'll rule from that point to the armhole. We'll also determine the midpoint on this line we've drawn. And then take up 3/8 inch. So you can actually leave it straight, or we can curve it just the way I'm doing. Blend that area, and then our pattern is ready, the front bodice at least. And so we cut. So this is we'll label this F for the front side, and then trim that area that is poking out. Okay, next we drop the back. So I've also gone ahead to trace it on a fresh pattern paper, and then we'll be inserting our darts. First the bust span, the same 4¼ , and then we draw the dart line. So that intake for this on the waist is ½ inch on each side of this mid dart line, and then take up 2 inches from the hip line and draw the dart legs. Next we insert the horizontal measurements. So quarter bust is the same 10 inches plus half an inch ease, and then quarter waist circumference 8 3/4 plus dart 1 inch dart, and the hip is 10 1/4. And so we determine the neck width and the depth. The width is the same as the front, 5 inches, and the depth is 1.5. So like I said earlier, you can do whatever neck measurement you can take whatever neck measurement you want. Okay, now on the neck, we also mark 2.5 inches. This also you can do between 1 to 3 inches, and then we determine the midpoint on the armhole. It's also the same, 10.1. So we come down by 5 inches and then take down also half an inch. From that half an inch we took down, we draw a straight line to the neck. So I also said you can leave the raglan pattern like this, or you curve it. Now curving it, we define the midpoint and then take up 3/8 inch, that is 0.4, and mark, and then we form that slight curve. So the back pattern is ready, and then we cut. So we'll label this B, meaning back, and trim out that sharp point. So now this is for the front and the back. We're going to join the shoulders together of the front and the back to cut our sleeve. So we tape that point. And next we attach to the sleeve. At the same time, the shoulder side matching the grain line of the sleeve. So we trace. And while tracing this point, we make sure we blend every curve that is sharp. So let's not forget our label. This back side, we're attaching it to the back bodice, and front to the front bodice. And our sleeve is ready, so we cut out. So we haven't added any allowances. When cutting on the fabric, we'll add the seam allowance. That's it. Now this is the second method. This we're going to cut with the sleeve attached, like we're cutting the basic bodice with the sleeve together. So let's start by inserting our horizontal measurement. Now the quarter bust circumference is 10 plus 3/4 inch ease, and then the quarter waist circumference is 8 1/4 plus 1.2 inch ease. On the hip also, we are going to add also 1.2 inch ease. So we're adding ease to this on the waist and hip because this is a free pattern, an easy way. You can also add that to this if you want. So for the neck, we're going to take 4 inches width and the depth is 6 inches for both front and the back. So this pattern is for both the front and the back bodies. So like I always say, for the neck depth and the width, you can do differently. You can make yours, maybe if you want, you could make the front deeper or lower. It all depends on you. And I'm going to mark 2 inches for the raglan. So here I'm not going to look for midpoint on the armhole. I'm just going to draw a straight line to the end of the armhole. So you can leave your raglan as straight like this, or you can curve it just like we did in the first pattern. So now I'm going to extend this line so I can measure the sleeve length. Now for this project is 5 inches. And then I'm going to be taking that line down so I can measure the sleeve round or the round sleeve, whichever. Okay, in this case is 7.5. So I'll be curving it to the bodice this way. Let me just draw that line so you can see well. Now this pattern is ready. So the next thing is to cut out. Now here's our pattern. Let's trim this point properly and also the other side. Okay, now we are cutting on fold. We're also cutting the sleeve on fold. So if you want to have a seam on the shoulder, you could just add ½ inch and then join. If not, just cut it as whole. And then you can use a separate fabric for the sleeve. And that's it, we're done.